You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans, I have got your full roster of weekly spoilers from Monday, March 17th, all the way through Friday, March 21st. We have got Victor slapping at Kyle again and Phyllis making a grab at something that is not hers. We've also got some preemption news. It's going to be a short week, not as many episodes as usual. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, please reach down, click that subscribe button. Let's get started. Monday, March 17th is season 52, episode 112 of Y&R. So Nick is so excited to have Sharon back after that near-death last-minute rescue, and now she is determined to take control of her life after this horrifying ordeal. And Sharon tells Nick that she and Phyllis think the kidnapper is somebody who knows them because they knew their whole messy history and used it against them in this twisted experiment. And Sharon suspects that their kidnapper has some sort of background in psychology, and she's absolutely right. Martin actually studied psychology because his brother Alan was a shrink. So yeah, Chance turns up and says that they're searching for clues. They've got some fingerprints. They still don't know the culprit, and he's a little worried about ongoing risk and suggests that Sharon maybe should leave town. Nick wants Sharon to head to Europe to see Noah, and Sharon insists that Nick goes with them. Plus, Billy fills in Sally on the kidnapping and the almost too late rescue. Phyllis and Sharon were moments from dying from toxic gas, and Sally really wants him to leave it to the police now. Billy shares his regrets for doubting Phyllis and thinking she just flaked out on him. Daniel and Summer are so relieved their mom Phyllis is back, but Summer still thinks her mom is in danger. Meanwhile, Phyllis is desperate to find the culprit, but Daniel says, please just leave it to the police. And Phyllis really doesn't think it was Ian, but she admits that she and Sharon really worked through some of their things in captivity and actually saved each other's life. And it sounds like that they have buried the hatchet. And Phyllis later tells Billy that she just wants to focus on work. And then Phyllis is crying on his shoulder, saying that Billy is the only one who can help her rebuild her life. And Phyllis is very thankful that he saved her life. And Billy tells her that she is the only one that he wants to build Abbott communications with. And I've got two words for that. Sally. Because Phyllis and Billy are not just bonding, they are, granted, the commitment they're making is a work one, but Billy is drenched in guilt for thinking that Phyllis bailed on him. And in captivity with Sharon, Phyllis has realized, I think, that Nick is never coming back to her. And I think she's going to be leaning right in, and Billy may lean back. We'll see. So Alan is very unhappy to find Traci with his phone in her hand. And she is hearing all these alerts, seeing these alerts. And Alan tries to say that he thinks his phone was hacked, but he hasn't really noticed because he hasn't used it. But Traci catches him in that lie because he had just texted her earlier, so that's not true. And then Not Alan starts scrambling and he distracts her with wedding talk, and he suggests that they get on the plane and go to Paris and go look at venues, and he talks about even eloping there. Then on Tuesday, March 18th, season 52, episode 113, we have got Victor writing Kyle a reality check. And I'm sure this is bottom line about Claire. Maybe he's going to tell him that he's a loser who doesn't deserve to be with his granddaughter. That sounds like something Victor would say. Maybe he reminds Kyle that none of his relationships have worked out and tries to blame that on him, when actually the reason that Summer and Kyle's marriage didn't work out was because of Phyllis and her whole fake death thing that blew up in her face. Victor, bottom line, is going to do everything he can to drive Kyle away from Claire. And I think that Victor is maybe slapping at Kyle because he has tried to convince Claire that Kyle is no good for her. And she is easily as stubborn as Victor and is pushing back hard and isn't going to let him tell her who to date. date. So maybe Victor sees that Kyle is the weakest point in the relationship that he can work on. Meanwhile, Lily questions exactly what Damien is up to. And this could be about him staying, maybe, but I think it's more about why he lied about owning these companies and how deeply he's involved with this sketchy businessman that may or may not even exist. Also, in this week ahead, Nate and Damien are talking, and he asks Nate if it's true that his mom, Amy, was admitted to a hospital in Chicago. And, this may be really bad news, maybe because she has been weak since their trip to LA and hasn't been feeling well. But maybe it's good news because the oncologist that Nate asked to check on her case has gotten her into some sort of clinical trial or study or under some experimental therapy. So hopefully Nate and Damien will be heading to Chicago to spend time with Amy, or she'll be back home soon and feeling better. Meanwhile, Holden kind of presses things with Audra. Looks like he might take things too far. He clearly still has a fixation on her, and Holden isn't one to give up. So maybe he tries to make a play for her, tries to kiss her, gets touchy-feely, something like that. I don't think Audra is going to let him get away with anything because she knows what a good thing she has going on with Nate and doesn't want to blow it. On Wednesday, March 19th, it is season 52, episode 114, and Jack and Diane are offering some advice to Traci. And I wonder if she has shared her suspicions with them just about him kind of overreacting about his phone in her hand and about him not being honest. And I wonder if they tell her that maybe it's cold feet or if they're going to advise her to listen to her gut. Hopefully that. And Nick receives an unexpected invitation. I'm suspecting it's from Sharon. In This Week Ahead, Sharon wants Nick to be honest with her, and she asks him about his feelings for her, and Sharon wants to know if he ever thinks about them reconciling. I wonder if the invitation is again about him going on this European trip with her and Faith, or if it's something more like her asking him to move back into the ranch house. I think that was something that happened in her Valentine's Day daydream, if I remember correctly. Also, sparks are flying between Chelsea and Adam on Wednesday. Will they take things to the next level? Hit the sheets, all that good stuff? Maybe. Thursday, March 20th and Friday, March 21st, there are no new episodes of Young and the Restless. It's preempted on both days due to CBS coverage of March Madness. If you like basketball, this is great news. If you prefer soaps, not as good news. So only 3 episodes of Young and the Restless in the week ahead.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.